celebrity voices. Listener discretion is advised.
This is Jesse Twain, and you're listening to the Devil You Know podcast. It's like having John and Dorian come inside your ear pussies.
We are? Yeah, we are.
All right.
Hey. Fred Albert.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's going on, man? You know what episode this is?
Dude, yeah, we're like, what, 52?
52, man.
52.
Yeah, big deal. Anyway.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I mean, we're, it's getting there. It's evolving. The show's evolving.
It is. We've got
and not only us, not only the show, but I think other things are evolving. Other networks are evolving.
Are you talking about Third Side?
Third Side.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you're on board with that.
There's three sides to every story.
There is. I wanted to welcome you publicly. I love you, brother. It's gonna be great.
Right on, man. So let's tell them all the crazy shit that we're going to be. Well, obviously, I mean, the Devil You Know is going to continue and probably expand. I mean, number one, we got more cool new guests lined up and new questions to ask and who knows what different areas that'll take. But then also the count. I mean, people are really loving.
He's blowing up.
Yeah, his audio version of the Satanic Bible that he started last episode, which we're continuing this episode.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Amazing. Like I mean, just listening to it, it's just I don't know. It's just something about it. You just like you feel kind of hypnotized, just like a real vampire or something like.
Yeah,
just listening to it, you're just like, oh,
yeah.
I want to have sex with his voice.
I don't know about that, but I know what you're saying. I hear you. I can see. But I get emails from women asking if they can have him call their phone and leave like sexy messages and shit. So
he'll probably make a pretty good living doing that. Huh?
It's all he's got to do is just sit around on the phone and quit his day job. That's it. No, people loving that, and the network is expanding. We've got. Marlene and Jesse Twain are going to be doing the Witching Hour. That's going through its final stages, and
this is the video we're talking about now, right?
Yeah, that's video. Yep.
Very cool.
And we're going to be doing On the March, an idea I had, and brought it to Magus Gilmore's attention, and he had some input on it, and he actually came up with the name of it, actually, On the March.
Yeah.
And because it used to be on the old website, the Satanic News On the March. And so we're going to run with that, and ran the logo by him, and he had some suggestions, and there it is. I put it up on Facebook, and
it's very cool.
It's going to be like a news thing. We're going to take what's on the COS news feed and bring it to you in a video format in an entertaining way, something that you will not have to or be able to scroll through. You're going to listen to this and
it's going to be very entertaining.
Yes, it is. This just in. It's going to be great. It's video, and if you want to know what's going on and you can't happen by the website, you can quickly listen and or watch this broadcast, and a lot of people are going to be involved. It's not just me and you, there's other people that are going to be doing different segments of the news, and it could be who knows, it could be I don't think it'll be a long show, but it's going to be very informative and fun, so we're looking forward to that. And I also want to welcome aboard Jared McGee. He is going to be the co-host of Third Side. We're going to continue that show, so I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a great addition, man.
Yeah, and then of course Gyps also is going to have a show.
He's going to have his show called Sound Sorcery, and it's music. It's not even just music, sounds, frequencies, and why and where they came from and what for.
Yeah,
and who.
It's awesome.
And what.
Yeah, so like all those people that say that that COS ain't doing anything, we're doing something. We're educating your ass. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Oh, that's their own wasted life, man. They say shit like that.
Oh, it's very cool, man. It's just,
very exciting.
A lot of cool things happening.
Hell yeah! I mean, there's new podcasts coming out there too. I heard a couple of announcements. You know, some of the members are starting podcasts and vidcasts and stuff. So it's really cool to be able to be a part of this time. We are growing and we're evolving. All of us, every member is doing more and taking their time to get into the thing that they like and
sure.
Bring it out into the open here, and it's a fun time, man. It's a very exciting time.
Yeah, I mean, there's something like I'll never get tired of something as classic as a book in my hands. But at the same time, I do love, being able to put on a podcast while I'm doing some work and just listening to, or nowadays, I mean, you can watch you can watch a video show on YouTube on your phone, So I just don't do it while you're driving, okay, folks? But otherwise.
No vidcasting and driving.
Yeah, cool stuff happening, man.
Very exciting.
We are definitely on the march.
That's just it. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. All right, man, let's go on with the show.
Let's march.
The Law of Gyps.
I attempt to break no promises, although I can and will bend the rules if I need to. I am not a perfect human animal. Granted, I am my own god with very high standards, although I'm clearly aware of my own limits and shortcomings. Sometimes my goals are not always fulfilled to my fullest potential. Setbacks take place, detours occur, decisions have to change or be altered due to a change in circumstances that are presented along the way. That's fine and well. However, I always like to be one to finish what I start. Sometimes I have to lie, fib, tell a tall tale, or stretch the truth in order to improve a situation or make it better. Take a lesson or two from Machiavelli. Don't break your promises, but don't be afraid to bend the rules. Especially if rigid rules are holding you back, like quicksand. Hail Satan!
The 9 Satanic Statements. Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. Satan represents vital existence instead of spiritual pipe dreams. Satan represents undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit. Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. Satan represents vengeance instead of turning the other cheek. Satan represents responsibility to the responsible instead of concern for psychic vampires. Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on all fours, who, because of his divine, spiritual, and intellectual development, has become the most vicious animal of all. Satan represents all of the so-called sins, as they all lead to physical, mental, or emotional gratification. Satan has been the best friend the church has ever had, as he has kept it in business all these years.
Okay, Johnny B. Shaw, for episode 52.
52.
We need somebody. We need somebody who the kids might refer to as a mover and a shaker.
Yes,
in the
definitely
Church of Satan.
Definitely a mover and a shaker. We've got Andy Howl today. How's it going, sir?
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Hold on, I gotta give you some applause.
Wow.
Yeah.
Studio audience was sleeping there. So.
Awesome. I'm always late on the draw on that applause. I'm just like sitting here like a dork. Oh yeah.
What's happening, man? How are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Just, got a lot on my plate right now, but
I was gonna say
good.
this is a busy time for you, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, the book is actually being printed right now, but we also have a lot of
What
other
book?
stuff going
What
on.
are you talking
and-
about?
Which book?
Yeah.
Which book? This would be the Devil's Reign art book,
Part 2.
The second one. Yeah.
curated by Magus Peter H. Gilmore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, last year was very cool. I was there and involved, of course. But did you learn a lot from doing it last year to make this year run any smoother for you, or?
A little bit, but it still crept up on me. It's an all year kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I've never dealt with that amount of artists that I dealt with last year.
Yeah.
And this year we have almost twice as many.
Oh
jeez.
man.
Yeah, but I mean, I had it pretty well, strategified. I had set up more back-end type stuff this year to handle the submissions, so it was more centralized. Like last year, the submissions came in on both sides. Like people were submitting directly to the church and also to me, because we both did call-outs, called artists.
Yeah.
And so this year it was more centralized, so that made it easier. So it was like this time we got it all in one place, and then we just had to figure out how Peter could look at everything.
Right. I think that's last year I did. I actually sent it to him directly because I was like, "Who's this Andy Howl guy? I don't know him."
Right. Yeah, exactly. But this year it was more streamlined, so that helped quite a bit because it was all the submissions were in like one Dropbox.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, you're doing an awful lot of cool stuff with it, and I mean that's on top of what you do every day. And now, of course, I do know who you are, of course, and you are an all-around awesome artist, man. I gotta say,
Yeah.
fellow tattoo artist, of course, and then what you do on paper as well, and a brewer of beer. Are you doing that personally?
No, I don't brew it. There's a brewery that opened at the front of the plaza right before last year's show, so it was really good timing. But they're called Bury Me Brewing, and all their beer names are like macabre, like bury me dead,
nice.
Stuff. But the guy that runs the brewery, the brewer there, is a huge Electric Hellfire Club fan and a huge fan of Peter and Church of Satan. So I don't think he's a member, but he is very into it.
Nice.
So it was just the planets were aligned.
Yeah, and that was good stuff. I had some of the Peter Gilmore ale.
Yeah, it was called Apostate Ambrosia,
That's
and it was
right.
actually Peter put up all the ideas about what it should be and named it and gave the backstory in it. But it was actually a very specific thing, and I had never had that type of beer before.
Oh, very cool.
It was good stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's actually like a monk recipe.
Yeah.
Like the type of beer that monks would brew.
Nice.
Satanic monks?
Yeah.
In the future.
That's awesome. So tell us about tattooing. How'd you get into that? How old were you and all that?
I got into I started getting tattooed in college. So I mean I started art school in '94. So I started getting tattooed in college, started hanging out at tattoo shops in college. Didn't really have any exposure to tattooing growing up. My grandpa has like a World War II tattoo. That was about all I was, that all I had seen growing up. But then I was exposed to actual counterculture, when I went to art school.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, so I started hanging out and met some good guys. My buddy Clay McKay, who still tattoos in Savannah. I went to Savannah College of Art and Design. So that's kind of when I started getting into tattooing and thinking about tattooing. But I didn't really commit to being a tattoo artist until later. Like I didn't necessarily want to be around people that much when I was younger.
I know how you feel.
Like,
yeah.
it weirded me out, you know, like being that close.
It
to
is
people.
definitely one of the rough parts of the job.
You know, in most people smell okay. Some people don't smell so good, but other people are okay.
Yeah.
But usually it's not an issue. But I finally, like, you know, I was an illustrator for a long time after college and got into web design, stuff like that. And I reached a point where I was like, I don't want to sit in front of the computer all day. I don't want to just be a designer, illustrator. You know, I would rather do something else that's more, you know, real, like
hands-on,
in the real world, talking to people, you know, being in the real world. I felt like, kind of like life was passing me by a little bit, especially being a work-at-home web design, graphic design dude.
Yep.
Just like,
so I know how that goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's solitary. I mean, anybody who does artwork, you know, for hire, it's, you know, the tattooing is one of the few jobs that it's
social.
It's social, yeah. That's the weird thing about it, is that it's a very unique job, because most, you know, they're not like that.
Yeah.
You know, you're by yourself, you know, 8 hours a day, you know, your family leaves, your kid goes to school, your wife goes to work, and you're just by yourself.
Get out of my head.
I'm sure, like me, though, you probably tattoo plenty of people that you just think, I wish they would just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know, it's 50-50. I think if you put out the right signals, people know that you don't necessarily want to talk all the time.
Right.
But it depends on the client, you know. I've got some clients who it's like, you know, they know about Satanism and stuff like that, and they're fucking cool, you know. They're easy to talk to, and you have all the same things in common. So those are the clients that are super, you know, super cool.
Yeah.
But not everybody's like that. I mean, that's like 10%.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
But anyway, like, I kind of like started getting into thinking about being a tattoo artist, you know, while I was doing web design. I was a web designer for like marijuana.com and some other sites like that, in the 420 High Times world, and also, you know, did other stuff.
Nice.
For that.
So
for
so you have your own shop, right?
Yeah, what we did is we while I was still doing all that stuff, we opened Howl Gallery Tattoo in downtown Fort Myers. So I was making connections with other tattooers and stuff like that, and on the side we opened the shop. So it was like doing two things at once.
Right on.
And that was like 2008. So I started getting into tattooing in 2002, and then was making connections and stuff, and then opened the shop in 2008. So it's
Very
been
cool.
almost, yeah. So it's 8 years? It'll be 9 years coming up.
Yeah.
Wow, very nice.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and we're not just a tattoo shop. We from day one we've also been an art gallery, and when we first opened, actually most of the space was art gallery.
Yeah.
We had 3 tattoo stations. They're kind of off to the side, walled in, and then a big kind of like tall ceiling space that was in a historic building that we did a lot of, you know, we started the downtown Fort Myers Art Walk and different events like that, like Music Walk.
Yeah, there's a lot of big events out here for art walks and things in Phoenix and Tempe and stuff. It's really awesome. But I was wondering... no, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I mean, that's like, especially with historic districts, you know, and art districts, it's definitely, like, they're a big crowd. Lots of people come out for it.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like, you'll get, like, paintings and drawings and different things, but then you'll get, like, this guy did this whole wall of stuff, or these, you know, metal sculptures, and just, things are crazy. And then sometimes they have, like, live humans doing things, and it's really, you know, enjoyable to see all that stuff. These people's minds are... crazy, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the art world is like its own beast, you know.
Sure.
And to like try to make money doing that is like a whole nother thing. So
yeah, no doubt.
It worked out for us a little bit, but we've kind of like crept away. And when we were never really part of like the high art realm, you know, we were always kind of like in the lowbrow world. And in Fort Myers, that's not really huge, you know. We have a lot of like older people that are, I mean, interested in like very high art type stuff. That, you know, it's expensive and it's kind of crappy, you know, as far as I'm concerned. There's not a lot of content. Like, I'm more interested in like figure drawing and, you know, like Frazetta and stuff like that. It's like,
hell yeah,
where there's real content, you know.
Yeah. So I was wondering about the like the art gallery is during the year that when you don't have the event going on for the church, is it like just anyone's art in there? And then what do you do with that when you do have that? Do you take it down and fill it up with the church's stuff?
No, I mean, basically what we've done, I mean, since we opened, was we would do an art show every year, or not every year, I'm sorry, every month. I mean, it was a monthly thing. You would change the art over every month, just like a normal gallery.
Yeah.
And, it would be either a solo artist show or a group show. So up until we started doing the Devil's Reign last year, we were doing that every month, and even throughout the year last year we were still doing monthly shows, but it's a lot of work. So especially if you're tattooing full time. So when we started doing the Devil's Reign, I kind of shifted gears and was like, if we're gonna be publishing this book, I might as well just like focus on that, and because obviously it has a bigger impact than doing a monthly show.
Right.
It has a, it's, the book could last, however long a book lasts, 100 years, 200 years, whatever. So there's more, permanence to it. And for us as a tattoo shop, getting a lot of other really well-known tattooers and painters and stuff like that on board and bringing them all together has a better effect, it has a more of a long-term effect for us.
Yeah.
So once we started doing the Devil's Reign, this year we haven't really done any shows. I just kind of like, let's just focus on doing that. And what we started to do was actually do more music shows, because we have a beer and wine license also. So, so we're doing weekly music shows and heavy metal shows. We're doing burlesque shows.
Nice.
And that stuff doesn't take any preparation on our part. We don't have to strip the walls and repaint them and plaster them. It's just, we just have an event and people show up and we do it and we're done.
Nice.
So it's changed the dynamic for the better for me.
Yeah. I guess I'm moving to Florida, man. Fuck. As soon as you said burlesque show, I was like, I'm there.
There's a local burlesque group called Hard Candy Showgirls. But they're doing some cool ass stuff. They're like, we've got a big Halloween blowout this Saturday, and they're like, one of their dances is like an actual like a bloodbath dance. So they're gonna have like a kiddie pool filled with fake blood.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
You gonna film that and put it on YouTube so people that live in Arizona can see it?
We're gonna do some because we're gonna do the same thing during the Devil's Reign show this coming December. They're gonna also do that with some tweaks. They're gonna change it up a little bit.
Very cool.
Very cool.
I got a question because I read Dorian's book. I don't know if you did. It's called Sin in the Skin. Great book. Throw a plug in there.
Thanks for the plug.
I have not, but I'm gonna check it out.
It's really, really cool. And I've had the pleasure of talking to him privately and stuff like that. And I've heard some pretty funny and some horrendous stories about tattooing. Can you share like a couple of stories that were like the funniest and then some of the most horrendous ones that you had to deal with and things like that?
Tattooing?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, I mean, I've done a lot of weird tattoos. I've tattooed this paralyzed man from Germany that was in a car accident in the late 70s, and I actually tattooed over his spine that was paralyzed. He broke his spine in a car accident, and I actually tattooed his broken spine on him, like
oh, okay,
with labels for the numbers of each vertebrae.
Yeah,
that was weird. I really only have weird stories, and then I've got this one client that she was swimming like when she was younger, and her uncle ran over her legs with a powerboat, so her legs were amputated.
I hate when that happens. Yeah,
right. Yeah, way bad way to start your childhood.
Yeah.
But no, she's super cool, and she has a sense of humor about it at this point because she's in her 50s or 60s. But I tattooed little tie-dyed feet on her amputated stump.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so, I mean that was hard for me because I'm not really good with like amputated body parts. Like it turns my stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a few of those. Yeah.
So the guy that was paralyzed, did he? It's kind of not fair, right? He doesn't feel it, right?
Well, it's weird with paralyzed parts like that because what happens, like, okay, so the part that was normal, he could feel that and it was fine. But when I got down past the part where he was paralyzed, he started shaking a lot, and he couldn't control his shaking.
Oh shit! Okay.
Paralyzed, you don't feel it. You don't really have any control over it.
Right.
So I mean, it's really weird. It opens your eyes, as a person, to like all the different shit that people go through.
Yeah, that sucks.
And the same token, there's a client that I've tattooed a few times, and she has really, really bad multiple sclerosis, MS.
Yeah. Yep. It helps me if I say it slower too.
Well, yeah,
Sclerosis.
It's a complicated word. I'm not really good with the complicated words, but she is wheelchair bound. She has barely any control over her body at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually have to pin her arms to her wheelchair in order to tattoo her.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's like she knows what she wants. She just can't talk very well. She doesn't have any control over her arms or legs or anything. It's
sounds like the ideal woman.
No.
Dorian. No,
no, it's really weird. I mean, it really makes you, growing up, it's like, everybody's got their own shit, no big deal, whatever. But then when you're actually, encounter people that have these, different weird things, it's
you
really,
feel it, yeah.
You empathize more,
Yeah, definitely. Crazy.
But I don't have any I don't have any really crazy stories about, I think that as a shop, we're on the higher end of, what people think of a shop, so we don't get quite as much craziness.
Come on, you could tell us. Nobody's listening.
No, I haven't tattooed any buttholes. I have not tattooed any buttholes. I'm not going to tattoo any buttholes.
Buttholes. It's crazy.
I don't think I've done any of those. I've been pretty damn close to one before, but...
So anytime did anybody ever come to you with problem tattoos I don't know, they want you to fix something that's just so jacked up?
Yeah, I mean, we get that all the time. That's just normal.
That's normal.
Stuff, though.
Yeah.
People come in with jacked up tattoos all the time.
Would you ever find anyone that you just couldn't do?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you just can't because it's too much black. You just got to tell them to go get some laser or something to, fade it away. Just you got all black crap all everywhere, and it's just nothing you can really do except tell them to get some laser.
Well, black ink matters,
I have been interested in, I don't know if you've seen some of the stuff that Guy Atchison is doing now with white geometric patterns over black, old black tattoos.
I have heard of somebody in Tennessee that had some white put over black and it worked. But
I have it on. I did it to myself actually.
Yeah, did it
I have.
No, it's awesome.
It's the Baphomet. I did the Baphomet over this black cover up on my arm, and I only did one pass, just with I think it was a 3-liner that did, and it's still. I want to hit it again, but it's totally visible. It works,
that's pretty. So. I'll have to try it out. Yeah, I've messed around with some of the acid type removal stuff that permanent cosmetic people kind of use a little bit, but I just haven't done that much with it. Sometimes I'll go over a cover up with a flesh color ink just to try to fade it back a little bit, and that sometimes.
Yeah.
Have you ever tattooed a
vagina?
No, I have not tattooed one.
Oh.
I've tattooed very close to one. That's definitely more than one, but not not directly.
And no peni?
No, I'll defer to other people on those. We have.
I'm with you on that.
I've seen them. I've seen them. I've had guys that asked me to fix up, their penis tattoos, and they showed me what they had, and I just wasn't really interested.
Your name here. Yeah.
Plus, a lot of guys that want penis tats. There's more than just the tattoo that they're interested in.
No, what do you mean?
Ask Dan what he's talking about.
People have all kinds of different motivations.
While you're down there, can you tie my shoe? Yeah, definitely.
Stretch that out real good for me.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not always the most glamorous job. That's for sure.
But you can always say no.
Yeah.
I often do.
Okay, I can't get this. I'm picturing Dorian near a penis, telling people no. I'm not. Nah, put that back.
Anytime I've ever had anybody ask for that, because I've had a few people ask, and I always tell them that there's a $5,000 handling fee, and I get to wear a welding mask and 2 pairs of gloves.
You definitely have to give them the upcharge.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Shit.
So I haven't had any takers, but
Yeah, it's better that way, just,
Crazy.
R-rated instead of X-rated.
Yeah, I mean, come on, how could anyone really expect? I mean, I'm sure I guess there are certain people out there. There are artists obviously who don't care at all, but I mean, if your artist is totally weirded out by it, it's not going to look good, So.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the process of tattooing an actual shaft is from what I know, is not that fun.
Yeah.
I knew this guy. Oh, sorry. Go
No, go ahead.
That sounds more interesting.
The healing has got to suck for that,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine.
But I knew this guy though. My dad's friend in his motorcycle club. He had flames on his dick, but he had 9 piercings in it. Like it was gnarly looking.
Ugh. Wait, he showed it to you?
Well, he showed it to the whole bar, and well, it had to be at least 12 to 14 inches easily. It made a thump when it hit the bar, like we were like, whoa, what the fuck?
That was the metal.
No, it was like a thump. The metal was on the top, on the top of it, but that's pretty wacky, man. I don't know. He's like, it's for the ladies. I'm like, that's for a horse, dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no,
Anyway.
I've never been into piercings either, so I'm not.
So you don't do any piercings in the shop for anybody?
Actually, we're getting back into it. We actually had to stop doing piercings because the local health department, because we've got a beer and wine license, decided.
Yeah.
Well, apparently there's a law they didn't know about that you can't serve beer and have piercing in the same establishment. So we had to apply on the state level to get an exception, which we got after about 8 months. It took about 8 months to get it.
Stupid laws on the
impressive.
books, man. I don't get it. There's a law here in Arizona. You can't perform fellatio or cunnilingus in your own home.
Right.
It's still on the books.
And then the sex police that they come and then knock on your door and they ask what you've been doing.
Oh boy.
That's funny.
Show us what you've done.
Your beard looks a little crusty, sir. Were you performing cunnilingus? That's none of your fucking business.
I think there's laws like that all over the country.
Oh, it's crazy.
So tell us a little bit about your background, where you come from, Andy.
I grew up in, I was born in northern Michigan on an Air Force base. My dad was a navigator for B-52s.
Damn.
What part of Michigan?
It was called, it was near Oscoda. It was an Air Force base called Wordsmith, but it's closed down now. But it was in the very top part of Michigan.
The UP?
Not that far north, just in the top part of the mitten.
Did you ask him if he could pee? What'd you say?
Yeah. Upper Peninsula, the UP. Yeah, I'm from Northwest Indiana, so I'm from.
Oh, cool. Yeah, my dad is actually from Indy. He grew up in Indiana. My Howl grandparents lived in Indiana originally.
That's cool. Dorian, I'm kind of proud of you, man. You learned the Florida lingo pretty quick over there. Yeah, the UP. That's awesome.
That's not Florida lingo. Though. That's Michigan lingo.
Oh shit. Upper Peninsula. That's awesome.
But yeah, no, I was born in the UP, and then most of my childhood spent near Lansing. Farm town outside of Lansing, called Williamston, and then my dad lived over near Detroit, so it was good. Michigan sucks in the winter though. That's why we moved to Florida.
Oh yeah. Oof. Yeah.
Yes, I know this well.
Yeah, I mean,
I used to go to great tattoo conventions in Detroit. Used to be, anyways, because the ones in Chicago always sucked. So I'd always just wait for the Detroit one to show up. But
Yeah, I think the Detroit one's pretty good. I haven't been to that one. I went to like comic conventions when I was in Michigan. So
yeah.
Motor City Comic Con.
I know.
So how old are you now, Andy?
I'm 40.
Nice. All right. So how old were you when you happened upon the Satanic Bible?
Oh, well, that would be high school. Probably my sophomore year of high school. I bought a copy. It was actually my sophomore year was a rough year because well, it wasn't really rough. It was just like, I don't know. My sister was the only survivor of this car accident where all of her friends died. That she was a graduated senior, so that kind of like was the catalyst for me to start like looking into, you know, not necessarily spirituality stuff, but just kind of like life after death, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And that led me to like there were actually a decent amount of books in our high school library about just like new age type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always turned off by all of the like white light type shit. My grandpa was a Methodist minister, so I kind of like grew up a little bit behind the scenes in that realm.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, there was a little bit of like they try to this bare minimum indoctrination of Christianity type stuff that everybody gets. But I think I had a little bit less of it because I think my parents were a little bit more open-minded and had kind of like written it off to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much my dad, a little bit though. But I started kind of like I didn't really give a shit about any of that. Like it always weirded me out when I saw people like was around church type stuff.
Yeah.
As far as like group. Anything group oriented kind of always weirded me out, like group praying or the stuff that people do at church. That always anything like that always turned me off. I was not into it. So anything white light oriented was just wasn't. I wasn't into it.
Yeah.
So
you didn't want to light a white candle when the moon was aligned with Pluto? Nothing like that?
Yeah, no, it just seemed like a bunch of bullshit. So, like, I started looking at stuff after my sister had all these friends that died. It hit home really hard. So I was like, just kind of made me start thinking about stuff. So none of it that I like found. Like I think I read a book called like Life After Death and stuff like shit like that, and it just seemed like crap to me.
How do they research for that?
Right. Oh,
Seance.
All near-death experiences. I had a dream where I was like floating towards a doorway filled with white light, and I saw all my dead relatives. It just seemed like a bunch.
And
of
I was like, "Fuck that! I don't want to see them."
Yeah, I see that in my dreams every night. It's not a big deal. So I don't know. It was just like. Everything just seemed like bullshit to me. So, I bought a copy of the Necronomicon.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so, and that obviously was just a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
So, when I actually got around to finding the Satanic Bible at a local bookstore and, like, buying it, it was the first thing that I had read that actually made sense that was, like, not a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yep.
Like, this is a person that actually knows what he's talking about and is trying to be honest.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, so, and then, I brought it home, and actually my mom and my sister read it too, and they were like, it sounds pretty good, except for it seems like there's a lot of stuff about sex in it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's cool.
Have you seen the Holy Bible?
Yeah, right?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, my only mistake was that I was with friends when I bought the Satanic Bible.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting, I was like the overachiever kind of art kid during high school, but I had a lot of, there was some blowback because I had been buying like darker books and my friends knew about it. So there were notes passed around that I made my girlfriends, tell me the Dark Prince, stuff like that. Well, it was just bullshit. It was bullshit high school stuff. But it was during the Satanic Panic era also. So, I mean, obviously you're gonna get what you're gonna get. But no regrets.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's you know, one of the few books that still you know, has any value, you know, as far as like stuff I bought in high school.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Right on, man.
But then, you know, as time went on, you know, I got into college and I just started buying, you know, more of Anton LaVey's books. You know, The Secret Life of Satanist definitely turned me on quite a bit, and I started. I sent a few packages of my artwork out to Central as a college student, and I was fortunate enough to hang out with Blanche during the 50th anniversary, and she actually said that she remembered my signature at least.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was always important to me, and that, you know, I met Thomas Thor in Electric Hellfire Club when he played a Jacksonville concert in like '96.
Interesting fellow, huh?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's like a really good friend of mine. You know, now we've kind of kept in contact over the years, and obviously he's a big reason that the Devil's Reign happened.
Oh, cool.
Because,
cool.
Because of my friendship with him. I did a T-shirt design for him when he toured with Danzig.
Nice.
Back, was it like 97 or 98 or something like that?
Oh,
I was still in college.
Very cool, man.
Yeah, really cool.
But yeah, I mean, I've always kind of, I mean, I am what I am. You know, I've always just kind of like been true to like what I thought was right. You know.
Yeah. So when you read the book, did you immediately, you know, tell yourself or identify, you know, as a Satanist, I'm a Satanist, or did it take some time?
Yeah, no, it just made sense to me. It was like, you know, I was kind of, I mean, I have like several brothers and sisters and stuff like that, but I was always kind of like a little bit of a loner. I mean,
sure.
So, and a lot of what is in there is just like second nature, you know.
Yep.
And the character of Satan is just one that I've always identified with, as far as being, you know, do my own thing.
We know how you feel.
Very
man.
cool. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's really what it's all about, right? You just,
yeah, absolutely.
Fuck you. I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah, fuck you. That's awesome.
Fuck all y'all.
Fuck all y'all.
That's what I mean, basically, you know.
Fucking right.
That's so cool. So how old were you when you finally decided to join the church?
I mean, I didn't actually join until like just this last few years. I just didn't need to, you know. It was like I didn't see a way I could contribute without like knowing more people already. Like if I was just a random person off the street. But after I met Peter and Peggy and, you know, we got the ball rolling, I was like, you know, I feel like it's the right thing to do at this point.
Yep.
And obviously you already had a history anyway with the church, so.
Yeah, I mean, I had definitely already, you know, kind of tried to involve myself a little bit, and I had, you know, reached out to whatever left-hand path type stuff. Like my first art gigs out of college were like for left-hand path type, you know, projects.
Right on.
So Dorian.
Yeah.
Hey, have you checked out Facebook lately? There's something going on, man. Something new.
Something new? No, I don't think I know what you're talking about.
Come on. Something about Armagus.
Oh, Donald Trump. Oh no, you're talking about Armagus. Oh, okay, that's different. Oh, I do know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yes.
You know, it's something very cool. It has some very cool artwork on the cover that I believe Andy was involved with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, there's actually this thing. It's a CD that we're putting out with the Devil's Reign.
Hell yeah!
The Devil's Reign 2 Psychedelic Blasphemy. So it's a CD by Peter H. Gilmore of kind of a retro electronica music called Symphony Sinister.
Nice.
And, yeah, so it's 40 minutes of like vintage electronic music that he actually made in the 80s, and it has been kind of locked away in the Black House.
Nice.
So we're actually releasing it now with
the lost
Psychedelic
tapes.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of like a Miami Vice feel to it?
I think it's more like 60s Miami Vice. Whatever the Miami Vice was in the 60s, it's more like that.
Yeah, baby.
but it's very old school electronica, and it has a really cool vibe.
Is it ill-tempered?
What's that?
Is it ill-tempered? It's dark, right?
No,
it's still dark, right? Yeah, nice.
It's dark. It is
cool.
dark.
Very cool.
And I think everybody will appreciate it quite a bit.
Where do they get it?
It's available on the howlbooks.net site. It's a limited edition CD. There aren't going to be a lot of them made. It might be released later as like a mass release album, but this is the initial limited release.
Very cool.
Awesome. Get it now.
Yeah. It's a collector's item.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I think it's time for the question. Oh,
The new question.
We're not doing that other one.
Yeah, we got a new one.
We got a new question. So, what's your favorite satanic quote?
Oh, Jesus. Damn.
I never heard that one before. Oh, Jesus.
Man, you guys should send me a list of questions before this shit. Jesus.
It's more fun this way.
I know.
At least if you're a Christian, you could just say Jesus wept. Now you got to actually think of something.
Oh man. Probably if someone offends you in your own lair, treat them cruelly and without mercy.
Gotcha.
That's a good one, definitely.
Because that's something that rings home. Like you've had people in your house that disrespect you.
Oh yeah, I have. Yeah.
So it's one of those
Gets
things.
to go. Yeah, definitely.
Have balls and step up and be like, fuck you.
Yes, sir.
You're actually treating me like an asshole. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right on, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, definitely cool to have you on here, and certainly looking forward to the Devil's Reign 2. I think it's going to be a good time. I'm going to be there, obviously, and hopefully we get Johnny, get your lazy ass out there.
I'll try. I'm going to try my hardest, my damnedest. But yeah, definitely, it was great having you on, Andy. You're now a devil we know, man. It's fucking awesome.
I appreciate it, guys.
Right on, man.
All right, until next time, everyone. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.